Good afternoon, pool players near and far. Thank you for tuning in today. We hope all of you are well wherever you are across the country or really across the world. An exciting afternoon for us APA-wise with everything that's been going on with the COVID-19 pandemic. Most of the news has been extremely bad, but we actually have a piece of good news today, and that is that this crisis has enabled us to do something that a few weeks ago was not possible, and that is to demonstrate our new mobile scoring. Scorekeeper is the application. I'm joined by DL Redden. DL, say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Jonathan Whitaker. They're both here to demonstrate the Scorekeeper mobile app to you. Just so you guys know, for the last several months, we've had some select APA markets around the country testing the new scoring software. And like I said, because of what's happened with COVID-19 and the impact it's had on our leagues, essentially shutting us down for the time being, it has allowed us to show you this technology early and demonstrate it for you. So with that said, very happy to turn it over to DL Redden, head of our technology team at APA.
So, hi, everybody. I think this is the first time I've ever gotten the opportunity to address our players en masse. Like Jason said, my name is DL Redden. I'm the director of technology for APA. I've been with the company for three or so years now, maybe 4. I don't remember. It's been a while. It's been a fun ride, though. We're joined here with Jonathan Whitaker. He is a quality assurance engineer that has been with our team for a year or so now. And he's kind of a subject matter expert on our application, our Scorekeeper application, if you will. So like Jason had pointed out, this COVID-19 pandemic, with it shutting down our league play, gave us an opportunity to do something very unique that we wouldn't normally have had, and that's to be able to create a version of our Scorekeeper app that we can show you everybody, not just our test markets, but show to everybody. And so without belaboring the point very much, I'll go ahead and just turn it over to Jonathan and let him jump right into the demo and start showing everybody around, and then we'll tie it all up when he's done. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Okay, great. I'm going to share my screen now, and we'll get right into it. So I'm hoping everyone can see my screen. This is the login screen. Of course, your people who already have the Scorekeeping app, you will get an update today that will give you the latest version. And you can get that from the App Store or from the Play Store, depending on what kind of device you're using. Once you've installed the app, you'll see login screen. It's the same email address and password as you will use for member services. So I'm going to go ahead and log in now.
While Jonathan logs in, I will mention Scorekeeper is a separate application than member services. I've seen a few questions pop up along those lines. So it is the same login, but they are different apps.
So you'll see at the top, we've got kind of clever Pandemo Mode. Don't know who came up with this. League operator, I think, came up with this. We've added this. This will persist across all the screens, so you know that this is a demo mode. This matches screen looks a lot like member services, the matches screen there. So this should look familiar to you. So before we begin the walkthrough, I'd like to mention a handful of things about this Pandemo mode. First, all of the leagues and their divisions will automatically be enabled. Second, the demo will display past scored matches from the current session for all players on 8-ball or 9-ball teams. These matches have been reset and can now be replayed. So if you've been on an active team in the current session, you will see scoreable matches just like here. Players who have not played on an active team in the current session will not see scoreable matches. The player that I'm logged in as, he has played on both 8 and 9-ball divisions in this current session. So that's why we're seeing these past matches. So I'm going to get right in, and we're going to go right into a 9-ball match. And you'll see we're going to select this one. Well, a few other things about this screen. You can see the dates. You can see who's playing. You can see this is a home match. The little airplane is a symbol showing that it's an away match. And then you can see, of course, 8 and 9 ball. And these are in order by time. We're going to go ahead and open this match for March the 5th. So when you reach this screen, it tells you you're still in Pandemo mode. That will continue, of course. You're going to see the rosters for Get You Some at the top, Reckless Behavior at the bottom. One thing on this screen that has been disabled for this demo is the ability to edit roster. So during this time, when you're playing with this on your own, you won't have any way to edit the roster. And you can see that if you click it, it's going to show you that it's disabled. So we're going to go ahead and go right into this match. Once you start the scoring of the match, you get to a screen that has the message from the LO. It's just like when you got your regular score sheets. If there was a message coming from the league, from your league operator, the message is displayed here. And then we just tell you, hey, go ahead and find your opponent and click Start Match. This screen also allows you to do a complete team match forfeit. If that is ever something needs to be done, we're going to skip that for now. You can play with that later because we want to play the match. So we're going to click Start Match. So sometimes you don't have a coin. Maybe you always have a coin. I don't know. But we put this in because we thought it was a cool feature. If you don't have a coin, you can do the coin toss right here. Of course, whoever wins the toss gets to select which team puts up first. So we're just going to say that Reckless Behavior is putting up first. Now we're to selection. So we can pick anybody from our roster. We can also take a sneak peek at the other, just to do get a little strategy if you need to. You can hide that. You can go back and forth. So we're going to pick Nina, and we're going to have her play a 3, Raquel here. Who won the lag? We'll say Nina won the lag. Now we're into play. It's time to break. So if we look at this screen from top to bottom, at the very top, we've got both teams 0-0. We're in match 1. No innings have been played. You can see who won the lag, and she is ready to break. The timer is on, and we'll be tracking how long the match takes. And you can see because Nina is a skill level 2, she has to get 19 points. Raquel, who was a 3, is going for 25. There have been no defensive shots, no timeouts for either player so far. So let's go ahead and break. And this is going to be a pretty fantastic game because I'm going to make it quick. So Nina steps up to the table. On the break, she puts in the 1, she puts in the 6, she puts in the 3, and she puts in the 9. Fantastic. We're going to start a new rack. 9 on the snap, yes. Now we're to new rack. So clicking on the balls one time says it's a pocketed ball. Clicking on it a second time makes it a dead ball. Clicking on it an additional time brings it back to a live ball on the table. So Nina is still has control. She's going to break, and she's going to put nothing in. So her turn is over. Now you can see we've changed, and Raquel is shooting, and you can see how long that she's 6 seconds into her play. She's going to go ahead and put in the 1, the 2, and she's going to put the 4 in, making it a dead ball. Her turn is over. Nina needs some time to look at the table, so she's going to take a timeout. And while she takes a timeout, she realizes, hey, I only need 10 seconds to figure this out. So timeout's over. She's going to take a defensive shot. As you can see, her timeout and her defensive shot are at the top. Back to, we're going to say her turn is over. And you can also see now that we're into innings. And as we go back and forth, the innings will continue to go up. So Nina is going to go ahead and complete this rack, and we'll start a new rack. So she's at 12. She's getting close. Let's say she puts in the first 3. But now we realize by looking at the table, actually she didn't make the first 3. We need to go back because we made a mistake. So we do allow for that. So you click go back. It shows you what you had previously selected, shows you the past state. She actually only made the 1 and the 2. Make that live, and her turn is over. Raquel gets up. Let's say she puts a few more in. Let's say she just puts these in, and her turn is over. This pops up as you get closer, as Nina gets closer to scoring her 19. You can see she needs 3 points to win. She wins the match. Now we're back to the scorekeeping screen. And you can see that the score is now 19-1. And the match had 3 innings. It's got everything displayed here. If we want to look deeper into this match, this shows you the breakout. You can even dive a little bit deeper into the individual games. And you see that we're capturing the dead balls for you. So that first rack was a 9 on snap. She put in 1, 3, 6, and 9 on the snap. So here are the dead balls. We also allow you, let's say you talk to the other person keeping score and you realize you missed a defensive shot, you can add it here. So we'll add a couple of defensive shots. We just added 3. And we'll go back out. Now you can see this is the match. 3 defensive shots, 1 timeout, 1 defensive shot. So that's match 1. To start match 2, I could start match 2. Someone else could start match 2. There can be multiple games going on at the same time. But we'll open match 2. It's going to same process. We'll be selecting who we're going to put up. We'll put up Judy against Mary. We're going to select who wins the lag. Okay, so I realized that I just selected the wrong person for the lag. So let me show you how I can fix that. I can just swipe this down, move this into what do we call this? The pocket? I forget what we call this. The drawer, sorry. Pull this into the drawer, okay? We can change the lag by then swiping this match and resetting it. And this can be done anytime during the match. You can reset it. You can even reset a match that's been completed if you need to replay it. So now it's reset. I'm selecting my shooters again, and I think I had Judy versus Mary. And I think I selected Judy last time, and that was incorrect. It's Mary. Mary's the one that won the lag. So again, we're scoring just the same as we were a moment ago. Let's say that we're into the match a little bit and Mary is not feeling well. She needs to forfeit the match. If you look here to the right, this is a little menu here that allows you to forfeit the player match. Which player forfeited? Mary. So now you can see here that Mary forfeited and Judy is the winner. Score's getting tight. So we can continue doing this, and we're expecting 5 matches for 5 player matches for this match. So we're not going to do that because I think that you've seen everything here in 9-ball. Plus, you'll be playing with it yourself in just a few minutes anyway. So let's go ahead and submit this. It's an incomplete team match. We do support partial matches, so if you submit anything less than 5 or whatever is expected, you're going to see this. So we're submitting these 2 matches, and we're not really submitting them because for the purposes of demo mode, pressing submit will reset the match. So let's go ahead and rate our opponent. And I thought I was a great opponent. And I'm going to leave the LO message saying, great times. Once I click submit, we're back at the matches screen. And this is the match we selected. You can see it's been reset because the match is saying score match. So you can go right back into it. So it's a brand new cleared match that can be scored over and over and over. So let's look at here. You'll see your initials in the top right. That is also going to have some options behind it. You can leave us feedback by clicking here. If you have feedback or questions, we'll be responding to submissions 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's Central Time, Monday through Friday. So definitely send us anything that you'd like to send us. Help file. If you have questions, we're going to be putting up a frequently asked questions document that will probably evolve as we get feedback from you guys. And that's at help.poolplayers.com. But you can just click here. You don't have to remember that URL. And then this, of course, is log out. So now that we have gone through a 9-ball match, let's go ahead and look at 8-ball. So I've already started this 8-ball match. So it's going to look a little different. It's going to say that match is underway. And when we click this, we're going to skip the coin toss and all of that stuff. You won't see anything because we've already started this match, right? So we go into the match, it's underway. We're already 3 matches in. I'm going to go ahead and start scoring match 4. Match 4, who should we play? Let's put John up against Chuck Clifton. Actually, let's make it a little more difficult. Who won the lag? Kenny won the lag. So here, the screen is very similar. You don't see the balls on the screen because we're just going to be moving through turns until someone ends the game by sinking the 8-ball or by scratching or whatever other options. Well, we can look at the options right here. 8 on break, break and run, made the 8-ball early, 8-ball in the wrong pocket, or scratching the 8-ball. So 8 on break and break and run, these are only available on the break. And I'll show you how those go away in just a second. So let's say that he broke and he's now done. He turns it over. Now John is shooting. And he's gonna, we'll put a defensive shot here and a timeout. So he has 0 timeouts left. So we can't, this is no longer going to allow me to add any more timeouts for this guy. So we'll turn it over and we're going to let Kenny in this game. So now you see the options because we're an inning in. We've had some play back and forth. The 8 on break and break and run are not available. The only options are making the 8-ball, making it early, putting it in the wrong pocket, or scratching. And we're going to say he made the 8-ball. Kenny won. So in a few minutes, I'm going to ask my colleague from the national office, Allison Wood, to take over scoring from me. And we'll just go ahead and continue to play until she takes over scoring. So I want you to see how that works. So we will continue with this, a few turns. We're at 2 innings for the match. We're at 1 inning in this game. We're going to keep going, maybe a defensive shot. And a game over. Kenny, he made the 8-ball early. That means John won. So now we can see it's 1-5, 1 out of 3. Okay, so someone's asking to take over scoring. That's great. because I need a break. So I'm going to release it. So Bob Herzing has taken over scoring. This is actually Allison at the home office, but we will, now that we're in the scorekeeping screen, we can continue to monitor that game, or we can start a new match. But as she makes changes in the game, you will see those changes occur live here on this match. So let's see. I see innings changing, and I see defensive shot just changed. Okay, somebody took a timeout. So even if I'm at home and I couldn't make it out that night, I could open this app and see what's happening in real time. So it's a pretty neat feature to have. So it was so much fun scoring. I think I want to take it back over. So I'm going to do that. And to do that, I just click. And I say I want to take over. So maybe his phone was going dead, right? If his phone went dead, it's automatically going to give me back possession of this match. Or if they give me possession back, I'll have it back. So you may run into this as everybody's crowding in and scoring matches. You may step on a teammate and they may see that you're taking over from them. There should be plenty of matches for everyone to score. But if you see that, that's why. So feel free to play with that as much as you'd like. We're going to go ahead and click game over. And let's let John win. And let's give him an 8 on a break just to end his night. So same thing here. Submit the scores. All these are being submitted. Again, wonderful play. Fun was had by all. Again, demo mode. Pressing submit is going to reset it. Click submit. And there it is. Ready to be played again. And DL, with that, I think it's back to you. I think we have shown full capabilities. Hope everybody enjoyed it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jonathan. Did a great job. So I kind of want to button all this up and point out a few things. So I've been watching some of the comments go by, and I'm going to try to answer a couple of questions, just ones that I've observed through those comments, and then we'll wrap this up. So first of all, if Jonathan pointed out that there's a big banner at the top that says Pandemo Mode. So just to reiterate, this is a version of the application that we're being able to release to everybody, and that should be out in the app stores, available. Like Jonathan said, if you have the app already, whenever you open it, it should prompt you to get the update. If you don't have the Scorekeeper app, you can go to either of your app stores, Google Play Store or the iOS App Store, and go get the APA Scorekeeper app. Whenever you get it, it'll update and have this Pandemo version for you. Up till now, we've limited the number of players that had access to this app to just a handful, well, 18 specifically, league areas across the U.S. and Canada. As of right now, everybody has access to it. I know, right? It's so freaking awesome. I'm so proud of the work that my team has done on this. We've been working really hard on this for quite a while now. Many people have been exposed to the 8-ball version. A few people have been exposed to the 9-ball version. And as of this right now, everybody is going to get exposure to the 8-ball and the 9-ball version because it's all part of the same Scorekeeper app. So I'm just going to point out a few more things that have already been said just for clarity here. It's a Scorekeeper app. It is different from the Member Services app. So whenever you're doing this right, you should have a Member Services app from APA and the Scorekeeper app from API on your phone. There's linkage between those two. So kind of like Facebook and Facebook Messenger lets you pop back and forth between the two separate apps, our apps will do something very similar.
Hey, DL, just to stop you real quick. So
Sure.
you must have a member services
Yes.
account before you can access this. So if you don't have that account, sign up for that first, and
Right.
then you can access the scoring demo. So you're going to need to download both apps if you don't have member services. That's the place where you check your stats and standings and that kind of thing.
Right. So, yeah, get your member services account, go get the Scorekeeper app. The list of matches that are displayed during this Pandemo mode are previously scored matches. So nothing that's upcoming, nothing that needs to be played yet since league play has been suspended. These are all matches that you've already played and they've already been scored by your league operator, but you have access to get into them, go through, fake play the match, play around with it however you want to. Like Jonathan pointed out a couple of times, when you go to submit, it doesn't actually submit the match because those matches are already entered into your system and show up with stats and member services. So it just resets it from scratch so you can go play around with it again. How long will you have access to the Pandemo mode? That's a great question that I'm not sure somebody has asked, but they should have. So if you did, good job, you're smart. The answer to that question is it kind of depends on how long the world is shut down. So we have, like I said, we have 18 league areas that have access to the Scorekeeper app in production. When the first of those comes back online and starts having league play again, which we hope is right around the corner, but who knows when that's going to come. When that first league area comes back online, then Pandemo mode goes away for everybody, and it goes back to just like it was before this announcement, where if you're not in those leagues that have access to it, it tells you that it's not available in your league area again. So it'll go away magically one day, and you'll know, hey, that's good. Our league play is starting back up somewhere. And so just keep that in mind. So we don't know how long it'll be there. Could be a few weeks, could be a few days, could be, who knows? I don't want to suggest that it might be longer. What else? There was a bunch of questions about like timers. Someone said, why doesn't it count up, down, right? So like timeouts are supposed to be so long. There's a few things that we've done with this app. The guiding principle is whatever you can do on paper today. So right now, there's nobody actually, I mean, there might be somebody timing your timeouts, but there's nothing that says it can't go for a couple of minutes, 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, take a 10-minute potty break, right? That's really just up to whoever's playing league. Yes, there may be rules around it, there may be bylaws around it, but there's nothing forcing you to adhere to that. We didn't want to do that either. So we have a count up timer. I believe the color changes. It starts being a little angry at you if you get too long. But other than that, it's really just a reminder for you. There's a bunch of things in this app. The skill level violation rule. If you don't know what that is, don't worry, your team will fill you in. If you do, we're not enforcing it with the application. We're leaving that to your league operator to enforce, just like they have to now. So you should be enforcing that on yourselves during play, but the app isn't going to do it for you, just like your paper score sheets don't do it for you right now. So I'm sure there are other nuances that we could touch into, but I don't know what they are off the top of my head. Just keep that in mind. If paper can do it now, the score sheet probably can do it too. There's a couple of exceptions to that. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head, so don't send us hate mail when you find an exception, because you'll find one or two. But that's kind of a general guideline that we've gone with. So right now, you can go get the app, download it, go start playing around. And like Jonathan pointed out, give us your feedback. We've got people we have staff monitoring that feedback channel. Let us know what you think. Give us your ideas, thoughts, suggestions, loves, hates, whatever. Write us a love note. We'll read them. Right?
Hey, so, DL, couple quick questions that I had
Sure.
noted. One related to split table situations, right? Maybe it gets late in the night. How is that handled through the app?
So there's, I think technically, Jonathan, correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm sure you will. Technically, one device could score more than one match. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right. So let's just kind of go from there. So whenever you swipe down and see that scoreboard, and you're already in the middle of scoring a match, you technically can go start scoring a second match. I would recommend don't do that because it's probably difficult to pay attention to two matches at once. So what we've allowed is that one of your other teammates who isn't keeping score yet, they can go start another match. And I think technically a third person can go start another match. So if you want to split, you could. Our software will allow you to do that. Yeah, so that's the easy answer, is that yes, you can totally do that, and we'll take care of it. There was another question along the same lines. What if two people try to submit? So technically, two people can't keep score of the same matches at the same time. That's not possible unless the internet fails you. Then I guess that can happen. I'm pretty sure first submission wins. So if the second person comes along and tries to submit it, it won't let you, because it should, as soon as that phone gets back on the internet, it'll just disappear. The match will disappear from your list.
I know that Jonathan covered in the demo there, he had Allison basically take over the match, which he had kind of accepted and said, yes, she can take it over. That's a scenario where maybe, one player's got to go home for the night and somebody else needs to take over, or a battery is running out. But what would be the scenario if, my phone just abruptly died in the middle of a match? How would another player be able to pick up the match from there? What happens then?
Yeah, so another one of your teammates will be able to pick up the match where you left off. It's as simple as that. There's no more magic to it. The app will be able to pay. So I guess there's a scenario where I lost my internet, and the last handful of things that I sent or that I captured, maybe a couple of turnovers, or if you're doing 9-ball, maybe a couple of whatever those actions are. If the internet isn't active, then the player that takes over for you may not have the most recent updates, and that'll be something that you'd have to navigate at league time. So we're working on we're already working on another version of this same app where we're trying to correct a few things. Like, for one, the app currently doesn't have offline support. We're hoping to correct that in this rewrite that we're doing. That's still like a hope and a dream of ours, but we're not committing to that necessarily, just because there are some technical hurdles that we'd have to overcome. But our team's definitely working hard to smooth out all the burrs. One of the things, since I don't get to talk to y'all very often, I'll just say a couple of things here since I have the platform. The APA has a true desire to be the fabric that glues pool players together. And a few ways that we can do that, and this is going to sound somewhat trivial, is by providing a good user experience to our players. And so starting with the new member services app that we built and released recently, and now with the Scorekeeper app, it has been a huge focus of our technical staff to be able to hone that experience with our players and smooth out the burrs, make it as painless, and it's just there. Everything that you think you need is right there in front of you when you think you need it. We're trying to be kind of Apple-esque about that. Apple likes to have software that just works like you're supposed to, and we try really hard to do the same thing with our software. So we're constantly refining our software to address those things. That's why your feedback is so important, because we take all of that, we chew on it, we filter it for the real meat of, like, you know what, that person has a great idea. And we take ideas from people that reach out to us. If they're solid ideas, we take it, and they'll see it show up later on. I was reading a comment thread somewhere on a forum, I don't remember where, and somebody was like, yeah, we told them we wanted a timeout clock, and a couple of weeks later there one was. And it's because we're like, hey, that was a good idea. Why didn't we? Sometimes we have these great ideas, but we don't have the time to build them yet. And it just so happened that, like, in that instance, somebody suggested it. It was a good time. We had room in our development cycle, so we let somebody build it. And we have passionate teammates that work for our company, and they're interested in creating the best products that we can build. And so it's a really cool place whenever you have such a passionate user base or fan base or player base, paired with a passionate set of workers and craftsmen who build the software for y'all. It's fun. It's really cool. I'm super excited about this the software that we're able to release to y'all, and I can't wait to hear the feedback.
It
Hey,
sounds
DL,
like,
Sorry, go ahead, Jonathan.
It sounds like a few people are having trouble seeing
Mm.
it in their area.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they just restart the app, that should solve the problem, because that will they'll trigger the update.
Okay, thank you
So
for that.
just remind everybody to do that.
Hey, DL, can you just touch on, I mean, for some, this is going to be a big transition from paper to the digital scoring. I've seen a few questions about, what if I just don't have a smartphone that allows for that, or, the location doesn't have Wi-Fi and I don't have a data plan that I can do this. How does that look, this transition from paper to digital?
That's a great question. So your league operator is gonna bear the brunt of that transition, because your league operator gets to figure out how to implement electronic scorekeeping into their model that they have set up. And so many, we have hundreds of leagues all over the world, and while they all look and feel the same in many regards, they also have very different unique needs or geography, right? Some leagues are in a very small mile radius, so getting the papers back and forth is a lot simpler. Others are spread out across counties, and I've heard people say I have to drive 3 hours to get to the other side of my league area, in both directions. And so it really just depends on the league area. So I'm going to try to paint with some really broad strokes here, and just take what I might consider to be a typical league. There are going to be people that don't have the equipment, like Jason pointed out. Well, technically, hopefully there's, like, let's call it 8 people on a team. Hopefully one of them has a device. These will run on an iPad, a note. I forget what what do we call Android thing? I don't know, notepads, Android tablets. It'll run on iOS and Android devices, whether it's a phone or a tablet. So the layout, just to be clear, the layout doesn't change on a tablet, so it looks like a phone app. It's just a little bit bigger, so just keep that in mind. But hopefully somebody on your team has a device. The cool thing about how we implemented this is you don't have to keep score electronically. Your league operator may mandate it, right? So I'm not creating rules here or anything. I want to be really clear about that. I'm just talking about the capabilities that we've built. We've built it in such a way that if one team, there's nobody that has a phone, or maybe they just don't trust technology because the NSA is watching everything. Who knows what the scenario is? If they want to keep score on paper and submit that paper score sheet, as long as their league operator is okay with it, and the other team, they love technology, a bunch of young people that just love technology and can't wait to use it, and they want to keep score, and they hate pens and paper because who carries a pencil anymore, right? So so the league operator can get 2 sets of score sheets back, just like they do now, one in paper and one electronically. They could get 2 paper score sheets, they could get 1 of each, they could get 2 electronic score sheets. I guess for a while, some of our league areas, we make them do all of it. So they get a paper score sheet from both teams and an electronic score sheet from both teams. We did that for a while we were really beta testing this. So we've really created it with the most flexibility in mind to give the league operators the best tools that they can put in place to make league play better, not to make anybody's life harder. So if you're not a technophile, you don't have to maybe you just got yourself out of ever having to keep score again, right? So you only got a flip phone. It's not going to work on a flip phone. Sorry, we're not going to be able to build. We're not going to be able to help with that. But there's always paper score sheets. We haven't taken those away, and there's no plans to take those away. So that's always the failback. Maybe the host location doesn't have internet access, and it's in the sticks in the trees, and there's no cell reception either. You're going to get to use paper, right? That's just the nature of that. So, but if you're in a location that has good cell reception or great Wi-Fi, then you have access to the Scorekeeper app all day long.
Nice. Well, guys, on behalf of, I think, pool players everywhere, I just want to say thank you, especially those of us that really enjoy 9-ball like me. I think this is going to have a huge impact on the experience the player has on league night. I think it's very exciting, and how ironic that the only way this is possible right now is because what the world is going through with COVID-19. I mean, this literally what we're talking about today, and what players can do after this demo with downloading the app and playing with it. It certainly would not have been possible if these leagues were still up and running right now. So DL, Jonathan, great job to your team. We're excited to see kind of how this goes. And I think, like DL said, give us your feedback as you test it. Again, this is now available in your app store. You can hop off this live stream. You can go download the app. It's the Scorekeeper app. And you do have to have a member services account before you can get into your information. But you certainly want to have both of those applications on your phone. Start playing with it. Let us know what you think. And hopefully sooner than later, we'll all be back on a pool table. Now, one of the things that the guys did mention is this is Pandemo Mode, meaning when one of our 18 test markets comes back online, we will have to suspend the demo mode. So we basically will have to be cutting off access, right? The clock will strike midnight on Cinderella, and the carriage will turn back into a pumpkin, at least for the time being. And I know the natural question that players will ask is, well, when will we start being able to use it in league? That's going to be a decision that's made on the local level by your league operator. I'm guessing more and more we'll start transitioning to it in summer. But again, that's a conversation you'll want to have on the local level with your league operator. I know our network of league operators are very excited about it. I would imagine most of them will try to roll it out. I don't anticipate they will roll it out league-wide initially. They may do a few divisions to get the hang of it. Go ahead, DL.
On that note, we're actually not letting them roll it out league-wide.
There you go.
As we transition, we're going to roll a few leagues on at a time. So it may be our fault that you don't have access to it. At some point, your league operator may be clamoring for it. As a matter of fact, there are at least 18 other league areas who have been asking to be part of their test group, and we've said no to them. So that may be your area. I don't know. So, but we are going to control how quickly we roll this out. So we're going to do it to a handful of leagues at a time. In those league areas, that we'll do it to 1 to 3 or so divisions at a time. And then as the league operator is comfortable with it, they'll start rolling it onto more divisions. So not only will we roll it out slowly to the different league areas, the league areas will roll it out slowly-ish. And really that's dependent on the league operator, but they will have to start slow and then at some point ramp that up. So we have lots of reasons for all that, but that's kind of the line in the sand that we've drawn as a tech team, as an APA technology team. We're trying to control that and roll it out slowly. So just, to piggyback on what you were just saying.
So read between the lines, folks. Go today, download this, start playing with it before the clock strikes midnight, and we have to button it up for a while. So we hope you guys like what you see. We hope you guys enjoy playing with the app. Again, available right now in your app store. Download it, check it out, give us some feedback, let us know what you think. And hopefully, guys, sooner than later, we'll be back on a pool table and we'll actually get to start using this league-wide. So, folks, thanks for tuning in. We hope you guys stay safe wherever you are. Continue to practice social distancing as best you can. And we hope to see you guys again very, very soon. Thank you for tuning in.